hidden gem and lock of the summer.
The PLO.
The hell is that?
The Premier Lacrosse League.
I came in with my ex like Selena, the flex. Bumping Justin Bieber, the fever and left. She know what she need, all she blessed. Giving my best. Yeah, I got my heart on my sleeve with a knife in my back. What's with that? 21, I love him, they're my brother, that's my stack. Metro made the beat, so you know that it's gon' slap. Yeah, it's gon' slap. Time, run it back. Talking to a diva, yeah, she on my nerves. She think that I need her, kick her to the curb. All I know is you could've had the world, yeah, you were my world.
Got these girls on my neck, got these girls on my check. Like Selena, baby, on my cheating, baby, yeah. She thinking a Lambo for a drive, cause I'm a fancy door. And she way out the store. I got my heart on my sleeve with the city on my back.
It's the all Jack edition of Net Profits coming on here. He did it. He did it. He did it. I can't believe it. His cannons, one in money, one in bragging rights. We got Rossi, we got Jack, newbie here. Interestingly enough, since the Cannons won a game, we have not seen Brenny Locks. I don't know if he's in hiding after our preseason bet that we had. I don't know if he's locked up. Not sure, but Jack, I'm gonna just turn the mic over, dude. You talked about how if the Cannons beat the Atlas, it would be akin to like Tom Brady's first ever Super Bowl. So I know that you're probably still just partying.
Yeah, I mean, personally, it was a high, nonetheless. But when it's all said and done, there are bigger destinations in the future for the Cannons. And I'm excited. I might have been yip-yapping a couple of weeks ago about how this was going to be a big one. Atlas Cannons, the ultimate showdown, all the money on the table. But frankly, it wasn't even entertaining. It was just a big old ass whooping, bro. And the Atlas are the most overrated team arguably in the history of sports. I mean, we're coming into the PLO this year. I barely even know what the hell I'm looking at. Next thing you know, everyone's telling me the Atlas are the greatest team ever. They can't even beat my Cannons, who are supposed to be the worst thing in the history of life. I mean, it does not get much better than what we witnessed this past weekend. And honestly, it's us versus everybody.
Us versus everybody. Rossi, so 1912, he's not kidding. I mean, this was never even really a game. Now, I thought we were going to be seeing Jack like logged on first for the show, bragging and everything, but he's a little more subdued than I would have thought. So I'm guessing he has just been destroying you via group chat and Venmo requesting you like crazy because honestly, that was pretty mild from Jack, to be honest.
A little bit. I'm eager to what's to come because you can't have Jack without the shit talking that comes with
That's
him.
fair.
But
That's fair.
no, I mean it would be. I feel like there would be probably more shit talking too if it was a closer game and there was some like last minute goal or something exciting to kind of get my hopes down. But I kind of knew the Atlas were out of the running for a good amount of time. I knew my money was gone. I was feeling it, and it's like. At a certain point, the Atlas were 4-0. They were also like, I don't know what against the spread. And it's almost like they were due. So going into it, I had that gut feeling. It's never good. As a Philadelphia sports fan, I kind of give up. Early. I give up early, when they're winning they're winning by one goal, I'm already like throwing in the towel.
Says a lot about your organizations.
It's what we do.
Zach, you think Jason Tatum is Jesus Christ?
Well,
that's fair.
I
have heard that comparison out of Jack. That is fair.
But
he's not Jesus Christ. He's life. So if you want to,
what can you do? What can you do? I mean, the Atlas have already won me 3 times as much as I lost on that bet with Jack. So I'm chilling. Like, you know what? I'm chilling.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, it was $100 straight up head-to-head bet that they threw down. So I'm sure the Venmo request hit it quick. But Rossi, you can still get the last laugh. I mean, they are going to play at least one more time, and that's not until August 18th, August 19th. So August 18th looks like they got a day game. Atlas Cannons, that'll be on ESPN Plus. So you may have potential to have the last laugh in this matchup, but wouldn't it even be sweeter if the Cannons legit like became goated and like were like the number 1 seed overall and the Cannons or the Atlas sneak in the back door? Would there be anything more satisfying, I'm asking, than being potentially able to eliminate Jack from the playoffs down the road?
It's always
Like, is that what we're eyeing now?
It's always about, I mean, whoever wins last, that's when it counts the most. So
That's fair.
I'm looking forward to it. We'll see.
Now, Jack, I do have a question here, and then we'll get into a little bit of what happened. I don't know how many of the games you guys caught, and then we'll do our little straight up predictions for this coming week, coming up here in Fairfield. But dude, like, all joking aside, though, the Cannons actually aren't bad. You know what I mean? Like 2 back-to-back wins. They had a 2-week layoff in between. So, like, is this momentum going? And do we actually have to start like thinking about the Cannons of like I think that 3.5 bet is chalk. You know what I mean? Like you're going to win over 3.5 total wins on the season. You know what I'm saying? So Is it time to start changing what we think about the Cannons, or is it just they caught 2 teams in like good spots for them, or what do you think?
No, I mean, I was about to say the same exact kind of thing that you just said, which is that 3.5 bet is absolute chalk.
Yeah.
Like thank you, come again. And like
he's making so much money off us, Rossi. This is fucked up.
Yeah.
He has money coming from both me and Brenny, and Brenny doesn't even come on the show anymore, and he still has to pay Jack probably.
He's in hiding because the Cannon, like, they went from arguably a straight laugh. I mean, I brought them up. I don't know when it was. I think it was week 1 or week 2 of the show, and you guys just laughed at me, and I stuck with it. And I'm seeing sights and signs of early Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. What's the dude's name? Is it Matt? The kid who had 3 goals for the Cannons.
Oh, Matty Cavanaugh.
You know, he can play. That's all I'm going to say.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And the fact that they have Asher Knowlton just like as the absolute quarterback. Also, Holman on the field, he got what? I think it was like his 300th score. So he's already in the record books. His dad's the coach of the team. So we could potentially be seeing like an MVP or like player of the year, something, maybe like bounce back player for Holman. And then his dad winning coach of the year in the same season. That would be unreal for Cannons. And now, Rossi, for you, like, I know, like, you guys are both new to lacrosse, but we are 4 weeks in here. Is it like panic button time? Because the Atlas went from being the odds-on favorite. Now they're tied for last place. They have a -8 goal differential. They've only won 1 game. So, I don't know. It's only 4 weeks in. We still have 6 weeks of the regular season, but like, Are we at least hovering over the panic button?
Oh, I think it's panic time for sure. When you're anticipated that high and you fall that low, I mean, yeah, it's panic time for sure. Like
That's cap.
It's not if it was the Cannons here we were talking about and
they were 0-4.
And they fell.
Relate this to the NFL right now. Try and do this. You're the Atlas, right? You're Kansas City of like the last 2 years I think 2 years ago, Kansas City was struggling. It's their last year with Tyreek Hill, not throwing a lot of interceptions. Mahomes didn't look like himself. They were struggling. This is the Atlas of the old. Don't they come back here at the end of the season?
It's still time to panic. It's still, that doesn't mean they won't.
No, because the greatest teams don't panic. The Golden State Warriors as a 6th seed don't panic. Like, this is
panics,
sports, Rossi.
Everybody panics, Jack.
Well, you know that not only are the Atlas, like, we're always about, like, good teams win, great teams cover. The problem I have with Atlas is, now they've been favorites every single week, and I got to look at the board for this week. I think they're favorites again this week, but they're the only team in the PLL that hasn't covered a spread yet. So I get it that, like, covering 1.5 is a little bit tough. But they're the only team, underdog or favorite, that at least hasn't covered 1 spread this season. So I think that's what's worrying me more. And I think the thing that worries me about the Atlas, like, again, I'm not hitting the panic button because I don't know how familiar you guys are with how the playoff system's set up. Only one team misses the playoffs. So 7 of the 8 teams end up making the playoffs, and then there's just one team that's the odd man out. So do I think Atlas will at least do enough to get into the dance? Yeah, like you know what I mean? It would have to be a historic collapse for them to not be at least be able to jump someone down at the bottom of the rankings. But the thing that worries me is that they haven't even covered a game yet. So when I look at what the market means, like market is like what is expected to happen, right? It's what the odds makers expect to happen, and then the bettors play into either that. They either agree or disagree with what the expectations are. Not only have Atlas not exceeded expectations, they haven't even met them a little bit yet this season. So I'm not trying to dump on them, but this is the reason why when we did our first preview and we were talking about, like who's going to be at the top, like the Atlas weren't it for me just because, yes, they had all the expectations, but I like the comparison to Kansas City when they were struggling, but the difference is Kansas City already had a championship under their belt, right? Like the Atlas, for all intents and purposes, like haven't really done it yet. So while it's a great comparison, it falls a little bit hollow for me because the Atlas haven't done the ultimate thing. They've even struggled in the playoffs. I think they're still searching for, a signature playoff win. So That's what gives me a little bit of pause on that.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that.
Why were they so hyped coming into the year?
So I think the jerseys are fire. I think part of it as well is they have Jeff Teat. We talked about what a beast he is. Like they are absolutely loaded. They had the MVP last season, Trevor Baptiste, and then they did this championship series thing. So it was a 6s style format. So it's completely different than what we see over the summer. And that was over the winter months. So the teams that were in the championship of that, Jack, were Atlas and Chrome. So I think both of those teams automatically they were top of mind for all these different bettors and the marketplace as well, because we had just seen them in February playing a completely different game. That style of play plays in more to what the Chrome like to do and plays in more to what the Atlas do. So I think the Atlas were a victim. I'm glad you used the word hype. I think they were a victim of the hype machine getting to them a little bit. Now, I don't think, again, that they're dog shit. I think they're going to be able to, come back. But, you see that across sports. When narratives start rolling, one of my favorite things to do is roll narratives. And your question about why were they hyped, I think it had a lot to do with narrative. And now you're kind of seeing they lost their head coach. Like, does that have something to do with it? Like, think about, again, we like likening it to other sports. When you have a new head coach, whether it's in the NBA, whether it's in the NFL, whether it's in the NHL, you're trying to get guys to buy in. So, not only is he fighting through public perception that this team was supposed to be the best, he's also trying to retool this team to do what he wants to do while it's the roster that it was last year with a whole new head coach. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, completely. I would second that. Rossi, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Is it fake and not loyal to move away from the app if you become not an Atlas fan anymore?
She's hopping
for the rest of the season, which is what I kind of feel like you're about to do. Are you considered a non-loyal, human being?
Jesus
I
Christ.
would say, honestly, I was thinking about this. And I would say no, because the only reason I'm an Atlas fan is the jerseys. Like, genuinely going into this, I didn't even know they were good or that they were hyped to be good until somebody was like, I think it was on this call in the beginning, like the first call I was on, they were like, Atlas are apparently the Patriot or the Patriots dynasty or something like that. Like I solely started liking them. I solely started, was probably you, Jack. Boston, hello.
All right, bro.
But I solely started liking them for the jerseys, so I would say no.
So if you did drop allegiance, and honestly, I'm kind of with you. It's like if you only came in solely based on the drip, I understand why you would end up having Atlas at the top of the sheet.
But it's also that's why, bro. She lost to the Cannons, bro. Like, you lost to me.
But the Cannons are low-key sneaky with it.
That's where you say we're done. This is over. That's the last straw.
She's breaking up.
Last lap.
You're breaking up with the Atlas. So if this is a true breakup, Rossi, like who's eyeing? Like, who's going to be the rebound here? Like who?
I think you should come to the Cannons.
I was thinking of the Cannons, or
If you can't beat
I
them,
can
join them.
actually this time I can actually be a bandwagon and go for the Archers.
All right, bro.
That's
Nobody
fair.
gives a fuck about the Archers. Come over to the
That's
Cannons.
actually that is honestly,
You know,
and we got
Taylor
some people
Swift-
watch. Go ahead.
Taylor Swift has a song called The Archer, and I just feel like it would really be
I was
fitting for
bumping
me.
T Swift today, actually.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
have to
on
go
me.
probably the Archers.
Speak now. Speak now. Well,
Yeah.
the thing is though, like I feel like when I'm on like Twitter, when I'm on social, whatever, I feel like the least vocal fan base is the Archers. And when you're going off of jerseys again, the orange, it gives me a headache. So you can't. I say why don't you just join forces with a man who seems like he's an immovable object and just go with the Cannons? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Rossi,
I feel like I should. I feel like that's the right route. That's the easy route. That's the lazy route.
how the fuck
So-
is that the lazy route?
So I feel like creating my own story, and orange is my favorite color. Like there's the signs. The signs
I
I'm
are
respect
over the
that.
good side, my brother.
the signs are pointing for the Archers. Like come on.
And now I'll ask too, and then we'll get into our game previews here. But if Atlas does in a couple weeks, if they beat Cannons, are you just going to be back on the Atlas? Like, is this just going to be like
Yeah,
like an
that's-
X that like you
that's
keep
where
going
That's
back
the other
to?
thing. It's like if I go to the Cannons, knowing me, the Cannons will start shitting the bed like they've been supposed to do. But if I go to the Archers, I'll be able to bandwagon. But if I leave the Atlas, they're probably going to start doing really well. So
Yeah,
it's like,
this is a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Because if you
Yeah.
leave and then Atlas like rattles off 3 wins, like they're gonna like be like, well, we don't want you back now. You know what I mean? Like you were the curse.
But
So
if
this
you
is
come to the Cannons, bro, then like I mean, if you can't beat them, come join them. Like you said, this is Kevin Durant to the Golden State Warriors, and what did they do? They won 2 goddamn championships.
Jack's trying to
bro.
make a super team of Cannons bandwagoners.
Come on, bro. Come on over.
I'm good, fam.
I saw that coming a mile away, Jack.
You stay where you are. That's fine. All right.
All right, so we won't officially make her swear off the Atlas, but it sounds like a U up text is being sent to the Archers currently, who are in first overall standings right
Yeah,
now.
I just sent it actually.
Scoring differential of the leaguing 6. Water Dogs at 4. Redwoods are currently 3 in the standings. Cannons and Chaos, you're looking with 2 wins each. Cannons with a +4 goal differential after that 19-12 win, because that's the thing that's the tiebreaker is score differential. So when you're wondering why these teams like run it up or anything like that, and that's why the end of the games are so important, is because at the end of the season, the difference between being that 7 seed in or that 8 seed out could be, the 2 teams, Atlas and Chrome, they're both -8 on the score differential. So then it would be their head-to-head matchup that decided it. But if, let's say, Atlas was only -8 on the goal differential, if the season ended today, Chrome was -9, that would mean Atlas would end up being in the playoffs. So that's why you see at the end of the games, like, these teams like still ball out even when like a game is over. You know what I mean? And that's why it was so important for the Cannons to run up the score when they had the chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no gentleman like, oh, we're just going to mail it in at the end of the game. They don't do that in the PLL.
That makes sense.
Totally.
Yeah. All right. Let's do our predictions and then shut this shit down. Unless you got anything else, Jack, Rossi.
No. Let's just go over some predictions.
All right. Jackson. It's the Jack edition of the show because the Cannons are making us all look like idiots right now, except Jack, who told you ride with them. We'll just do money line. We'll pick outright winners here.
All right. This is tough, man.
Yeah.
We got the Water Dogs versus the Whip Snakes. Personally, I'm going strictly off of nothing here. Give me the Whip Snakes. I think the Archers are going to play the Redwoods. Rossi, out of respect, I hope the Archers lose and the Redwoods win, so then you can come over the Cannons because you're a unloyal bandwagon. You join whatever team's good. So I hope the Redwoods win, and then Chrome versus Cannon, we're going to go Cannons, and then Atlas, are going to beat the Chaos because, again, we're going to make Rossi look as bad as possible, and the Atlas are going to win. That's my 4.
I mean, honestly, the breakdowns, good as reason as any. It would because it's like flipping a coin, trying to decide who wins in this league. It seems
Correct.
like week after week. So
Well,
the
I
reasoning
think-
is sound.
This is one thing I've learned about trying to predict sports. At the end of the day, it's normally just going to be a coin flip. Like, I don't know, from league to league, it's a little different. Like, obviously, the Golden State Warriors in a 7-game series against the Orlando Magic, that's not a coin flip.
In a 7-game series, though, is the point.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like March Madness, everything's a coin flip. In
Good
these
point.
regular season games that kind of have, like a little bit of meaning that we could see Atlas needs to get a win here, bang. Some teams are playing conservative, some teams aren't. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
No, I like it. I like the breakdown. All right, Rossi, you get to get the second word, and I'll shut things down here for us. What are you going with money line winners this week?
I'm gonna take the Water Dogs. I think that's gonna be a blowout. Take
Oh,
over.
a blowout. So
Yeah.
lay it with the Water Dogs. You
That's
get a
my
nice
hot
little plus
take.
money price laying 1.5. I like that.
Give me the Redwoods. I think the Archers have been hot, but not hot enough. The Redwoods have been
Wait.
good.
Aren't you an Archers fan?
No, I didn't declare nothing yet.
Bro.
It's an emotional
doing?
hedge. It's an emotional hedge.
All right, bro. Take the Redwoods.
I'm taking the Chrome
Why?
just because.
Oh wow, disrespect.
I feel like that was
It's
personal.
disrespect is why.
And I'm taking the Atlas. I think they've been cold for too long. They're due. They can't lose another one. If they do, I'm completely done. Like, we're breaking up.
Oh, so this is last week was a legacy game for Jack. This
Yeah.
is the
They
Atlas.
can't keep embarrassing me. Like, at some point, I'm gonna have to cut the bridge. I'm gonna have to burn the bridge. Like, I can't keep waiting around.
This is just
So-
the definition of toxic.
This is the
I
last
think
straw
you
for
could
me.
get out of it.
Atlas
I think
can't
you
even
could get
muster
out
up
of
a win against the chaos. Like, come on.
I like
Rossi,
that all too well. She knows all too well about Atlas here.
All
and
too well. Shout out
potentially-
Shout out Taylor
Shout out
Swift. That song
T-Swift.
slaps,
I knew
bro.
you would like that. I knew you would like that. I also loved the competition that you had in your on the street vid when you were out on the boardwalk asking the clearest Swifties of day,
Yep,
and you were
yep.
just like Taylor Swift, or for what it's worth, I would have taken Joe Burrow over Taylor Swift. That was the
No.
only one. That was the only one. I'm a big Burrow stan. He won me so much money at LSU. It's stupid.
Oh my gosh. That was funny because I think that hit the For You page of Swifties, not NFL fans. And all the Taylor Swift commenters were like, "Who are these people?" Like, I don't know.
they don't know anything, but somehow they can like break down like, well, somebody tweeted out, and at the end of this tweet, it had, like a red dress emoji, which means that she's going to drop red in 24 hours. And then once it drops on the third, like they can break shit down like
They're
they're in the
crazy.
Illuminati, but they literally don't know anything outside of Taylor
No.
Swift world.
No.
Like and I mean that positively. Please, Swifties, don't come and destroy me. I mean that as positive.
She's an
I
Eagles
saw her
fan.
in Philly, and it was a life-changing experience.
What
What?
night did you go?
He's an Eagles fan, bro? Ain't no way.
Dude, she literally in Philly, she was like,
Yeah.
"Guys, I'm from Philly. The Eagles
She's
are my
from-
favorite team."
So my
She lives like
hometown.
10 minutes from
Makes
me.
me feel different.
Yeah,
with
in
that.
in Wyomissing. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So she literally lived right around the street from where I grew up. So we're big time Swifties, Jack. Don't try and stop our shine.
What night did you go to?
Friday night. So
Okay.
she was fresh. She was ready to go.
That's when
Fucking
she said she
electric.
was an Eagle. That's when she was like, "I'm an Eagles fan."
Oh yeah, I went nuts. I think I started crying when she said she was an Eagles fan. I was like, "Me too, Taylor. I fucking love you." So it was an emotional experience for sure.
I went to night 2 and it was great.
No, I mean every single night at the Swift concerts. All right, Jack, I'm going to save you from this. You should go see her. But honestly, it's a life-changing experience. You can use all the money you've been winning on the Cannons to go buy Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah, I might have to give myself a T Swift experience.
Not a bad bet. That's the lock of the century. It'll change your life. All right, my picks. I think Whips at 1-3. This is a really nice buy low spot on them. Water Dogs running high. So I'm going to take the Whips in this one outright. I'll leave the points at the door. They've been a good underdog. You don't get them as underdogs much, so I'll do that. Archers, Redwoods, both teams 3-1. My heart says that I want to back the Redwoods here, but I just think they're the kind of team that zigzags all the time. So, like, since they just won, I think they're going to have a little bit of a letdown spot. Do they win that game if Blaze Reardon doesn't get, scratched right before game time and goalie for chaos? So I think Redwoods come down to earth. Archers get a little bit more on the field. So give me the Archers to win that one. Chrome Cannons, I think, is a really big spot for Chrome. Like, this is a must win. Not really, but it feels like a must win, or the season could start going one of two ways. Usually when a team is in a must win, it's because they're not very good. I think the Cannons are good. I'm taking the Cannons money line in that one. And then Atlas, I'm with you guys. It's like a must win game for Atlas. Like, this is one that I actually think is must win, because they have looked absolutely abysmal. Now they get a Chaos team that's a little bit banged up. Maybe you don't get Blaze Reardon in cage again. Atlas need this win bad. And do the Chaos need it as bad? I don't think so at 2-2. So Atlas, we're all on Atlas, which means, I guess, get your bets in on Chaos now, because we are just going chalk on Atlas right now. All three of us are on Atlas. I think that's the only consensus pick that we have this week. So what can go wrong? What can go wrong?
Yeah, what can go wrong? That's the first wrong thing to say in betting.
That's
Or anything.
that, and they're due. Those are the two kisses of death. All right, Jack. You have anything else to brag before we get the hell out of here?
No, I got no brags. I'm a humble soldier, and I guess we'll see you next week after I sweep the card.
I love that. Yeah, we'll update you with how we do on next week's edition. Net Profits is back, rocking through the rest of the season. If there is stuff to bet on in the All-Star game, maybe we'll even do a little All-Star edition. But Rossi, Jack, Newbie here. We'll see you next time. Make sure you check us out here, Net Profits. Follow us